Hello and welcome to another video. This one is IOTA. We are going to be, in this video, giving you sell-off points and specific entry points, a total of 5 re-entry points that you can take to use at the bottom of the market. Now there's some announcements coming later on this channel in the next coming few weeks, so please do subscribe and hit the notification bell, because man, no one in the crypto space on YouTube is going to do what I have planned. Okay, so just as a little spoiler, it's more than just charts, right? Okay, so let's get into it. We can see that we've had a nice little history here. We've had a peak back in December the 19th, 2017, and it was a classic falling structure. If you've seen my video on falling structures before, you can see that we made a new all-time high, we dropped down, made barely a new all-time high, dropped way back down to where these outbreaks started right here, and then came up for a 702 Fibonacci extension, and then dropped down for the bear market. Right, it's a classic falling structure. So knowing that we have a falling structure that happens with this coin, we can accurately predict that basically that's not happened yet. Right, we haven't had a new all-time high, then a new all-time high, and then a 702 Fibonacci retracement. So we know this wasn't the top, and the top is yet to come. So this is one of the coins that is probably, look at that, we're right down here in the 0.236 extension, and this is a prime buying opportunity. And it's a very exciting time today because the fear and greed index is down at 10. We can't really go much lower than this in terms of sentiment. So typically when we're in this red zone here, it means usually it's a good time to buy. And we're at 46 on the CBBI. Usually when this gets up to the 90s, then we are at the top of the market. And you know, at the bottoms of these markets, we get down into the 4 level. So we're not exactly right down there, but what it does show us is that we haven't reached our top yet. The maximum we saw on the CBBI was 76 out of 100. So, you know, we do have a nice little pump left in the market, and that's displayed right here. So for IOTA, from today, the price is $1.10. From today, we would likely see anywhere between 1,500% and 2,000%, which is so good. The price points on those, as in the take profit points, and if it was me, I would be taking my coins out at these specific moments. And you'll see that this one is actually at previous all-time high, and there's a reason I do that, and that's part of kind of my strategy. That is a 400% growth from where we are today, so times 4 on your money. Essentially, if you've bought coins during this time period, or this time period, or even down here, right, you're in a profit right now, especially for this one. But if you take out your initial investment, let's say you put $1,000 in around here, and you get to here, take your 1,000 out. Take it back out. You cannot lose at that point. This is one of the 90% of coins that hasn't gone yet. So when it does go, ultimately, it will go past previous all-time high, which is at $5.69. You take your initial investment out there, which who knows how much that would be, but I think it would be around like 25% at this level of your total holdings. And then you just ride it all the way up to the top. And these sell-off points are $14.75, $20.39, and $23.86. And so now that we have these kind of areas that we'll be looking to sell off, I am going to use the top of the Fibonacci's, which is this $23.86 line, as the peak of the market. I'm going to say that we perfectly hit the peak of this market, right? Top of the fibs. It's rare that that'll happen, but you know, quite often these top of the fibs are reached. Sometimes there's an overextension, sometimes we fall short of the top line, but I'm just going to say the top of the line is the top of the market. Right, and so what we need to calculate is how much we can expect IOTA to come down in the bear market. So from the all-time top to the all-time bottom, we had a 98.38% decrease. So what does that mean for us in terms of the top of the market being here? Well, when we come down 98.38%, that brings us right down to here. We're going to change these ones to green because now we're buying in at these levels, and that level is right there. So basically every time I do these buy order points for you, yes, we're going to do 5 of them. The reason I do 5 is because you want to ladder into these coins. You don't want to go all in on one line, right? You want to get an average buy down in these areas. So the equivalent of buying, you know, in these places that I'm going to show you is the equivalent of buying, like, for example, in this area before this this peak, and in this area before the top of this market, right? So if you imagine the price goes up here for IOTA to the top of the fibs, the equivalent purchase point is down here when you're like laddering in. So that's what we're aiming to do for this one. So let's go over, and we basically have to look at future buy-in points. And how we do that, if you haven't gathered by now from my other videos, is that we have to look for these peaks in the market that have already happened. So like this one, this was a peak on the opposite side, right? So this is a down wick. We can use that down wick and look along the initial line that it gives us, and we can see that right around here, that was a resistance area. We peaked out at that level, and we've had previous spikes. I'm pointing at my screen with my actual finger, and you can't see that. So over here, we've got peaks and troughs and everything, and it seems like a really good place actually. So if I put a buy-in order right at the bottom of this wick, right? So I've got another one right there. And we basically want to go through the previous wicks. Like I can see there's a peak here, and it was a double top there. So I'm actually going to put another line in there. And we want to do this 5 times. And there we go. I've actually done it there. And I've actually put one line below that 98% decrease from the top. The reason being is because it looked really promising. Look, we had a double top here. We had problems around here. We've hit it as resistance here as well. And it was basically a resistance point for wicks all the way across history. And we wicked down to it on 3 occasions back here in 2017. So we know that's a level that's quite important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the buy orders, the buy order prices at the bottom of the market for IOTA, that if I was buying IOTA at the bottom, this is when I would be buying. So 35 cents, 38 cents, 42 cents, 50 cents, and 56 cents. That's a 50% drop from where we are today, but if you think that's a 98% drop from the top of the fibs for the top of this cycle. Now, just for a bit of fun, if we did reach the top of these sell orders up here at the $23.86 level, and we projected what we might see if we had an average order of about 44 cents at the bottom of the market, what might the 2025 bull run look like? What kind of sell-off points are we looking at up there? Well, the sell-off points for the top of the bull run, for the next one anyway, I would be looking at anywhere between $86 and $97 for IOTA. Now, this is where the big money's made. This is where the big money's made, and this is where we'll make our money on this channel. And basically, we'll have our buy orders in here, right? We would have laddered in down here. The top of the market is here. Let's kind of see what kind of price increases from about a 45 cent average purchase price to the sell-off point up here, 20,000%. 200x your money. Who doesn't want that? So I would say that in this cycle, the one that we're currently in, the one we're most concerned about, we are in that 0.236, and the general rule is that's a good purchase point. The CBBI is low, ready to go up. The fear and greed index is down in 10, almost single digits, which usually means there's going to be a pump coming soon. So combining all of those things and the mega gains that are still available for this cycle, I would say that IOTA's a pretty good buy-in at this point. Now, I don't typically look at short-term projections just because it's not my strong suit. I prefer to zoom out, but we would still be bullish if we did reach kind of this area in the short term, and potentially like a buy order down in at $1.03. Maybe we could hit that, maybe. You could also bring this level right up here, and we might get a dip of like 5%, in the coming days. But ultimately, look what we have on the upside. So if you're able to see your coins go down 5%, which we should be by now in crypto because we'll be so used to it, I would say it's a pretty good price right now, to be honest, to be buying IOTA. If you haven't noticed, in the description of my videos now, I have some interesting links at the top. And yes, they are affiliate links, and there is a benefit for me to put them there, but I only have put them there because there is a benefit to you as well. A few of them, give you some free Bitcoin if you sign up and deposit. And another one, if you just sign up, you get a free share worth up to £200. So I'm only ever going to put links in there that would actually benefit you. And if there's something free or like free money to get, basically, I'm gonna tell you, because I want you guys to get free Bitcoin. And we are growing on Twitter as well, up to 135 followers. That's gone up kind of like 50 in the last few days. I post things on here that I might not necessarily say in a YouTube video. I did talk about the Fear and Greed Index today, but you know, there's a lot of things in here that I won't post on YouTube that's really worth going over to look at. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. We've got all these entry and exit point videos just like this one for lots of other coins, and that's a list that is growing constantly. There's plenty of videos that I would recommend you watch next. The algorithm has a choice for you right in front of you here, but if I was choosing, I would urge you to watch this When Will the Crypto Market End down here. I would tell you to watch the exact moment you should leave crypto right down here.